Hey, darlings, today I want to talk about if Christians should have casual sex. So many people would be like, no, because generally speaking, most people are like, don't do it unless you're married. And then some might even say, unless you're procreating, gonna put a bun in that oven. But there are people who are more progressive and might not be super into the whole purity culture, wait until you're married sort of thing. And so I fell more into that camp. So I went through deconstruction and I'm currently reconstructing because I grew up as more of a conservative Christian. And then I was like, this doesn't make sense. And so I've been figuring things out and learning a little bit more about the Bible and context and trying to figure out the culture of the back then days, because so much of it was revolving around women being property. And I'm reading the Bible, just read about King Solomon and his 1,000 people, 700 wives, and 300 concubines. I mean, they did say he was bad, though, because a lot of them were not of his people, and they seduced him away. But yeah, so anyway, I'm still figuring all of that out. But even as a more progressive Christian, I still feel like casual sex, maybe not the best for you. And I've kind of said this before, but the other day, I was really, really thinking, because I have friends that have the casual times. And I'm like, am I missing out on something? And it sounds like a lot of Gen Zers, like that's just what happens. And maybe that's just what the media is saying. But I've heard that from people, that it's just casual. Like, people don't do relationships sometimes, which blows my mind. I'm like, what? Aren't you lonely? Well, that sounds sad. But yes, anyway, so I'm like, am I missing out? Like, I feel like this is not good for you. And I don't know if God's a fan, because sex is pretty flippin' powerful. I was like, well, should I try it? To double check, to make sure for science. And had an opportunity to do some things with newish people, and not for science, and not all the things, just a little bit of some of the things. Because was not ready for all the things. And it confirmed my suspicions that, I don't think casual sex or some sensual times are really great for you. I think it's way better to have a very good connection with somebody, to at least like them a whole heck of a lot, if not love them, and to have some sort of relationship type thing with them. So I think everybody has to figure out what works best for them, because some people are polyamorous. Some people might want more than one person, and I don't think that's necessarily wrong. AKA King Solomon and 1,000 women. But yeah, I mean, some people are monogamous and that's what works for them. So I think it's really on a case-by-case basis. And I think that is very scary for some people, to be like, what am I supposed to do? I want a hard and fast rule. And I think that's why some people are drawn to purity culture. And if that works for you, like, go for it. Like, wait until you're married if you want to. But if you don't want to, then maybe explore, maybe figure out what works best for you. But yeah, in general, I just don't know if it's good for anybody. Like, I think the idea of feeling special, hugely, insanely important. Like, if you just do stuff with somebody where you could be any old hole or part going into a hole, it's not a good feel. I was talking to my ex-husband about this, who did theology stuff and talks with archaeologists and whatever about the whole hookup culture. I'm like, why is this a thing? Like, I don't get, like, I get it, like, if we're looking at biology, because men in general are going to want to spread their seed, even if they don't want to actually spread their seed, but they're just going to want to bang stuff. And I'm like, why are women doing this? Like, I feel like most women do not just want to bang every dude. Like, if a guy messages and is like, hey, want to come over and suck my... Most women are not going to be like, yeah, I'll be over in 10 minutes. Like, most are going to be like, what? Like, hello, I want you to appreciate who I am as a person. I don't want to be any mouth hole coming on over in 10 minutes. to service you. That was weird. Yeah, so I'm like, why is this a thing? And I feel like it's a trap or a trick of the patriarchy. This sounds so like conspiracy theory. But you think if like men are like, ooh, I want to just bang all the ladies, and then they tell women, hey, you could be empowered by banging all the men. We've told you not to. We've been like, keep it in your pants, ladies. Save it for marriage so that you're pure and modest and lovely and worth it. So if you can have the freedom of men, then good on you. You're just strong.
You are still pure, beautiful goddesses, even if you do not keep it in your pants.
Yes, exactly. You are still definitely worth it if you bang all the people. Definitely not slut shaming. Yay, sluts. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, so I feel like it's a trick. Because if men are like, yeah, you're empowered, bang all the dudes, they get to bang all the ladies. With just no consequence, not any effort. But anyway, so I was talking to my ex-husband about this. I'm like, why is this a thing? Hookup culture, why? You're saying one, short attention spans. Think about you're scrolling. You're just looking at these tiny bits of information all the time. So many tiny bits of information. And that's what it's like with people like Tinder. You're scrolling, you're swiping. And you're basically just, it's like a game. And I've heard of people who are on Tinder dates and their date will be like swiping for their next person right after. Like we're constantly looking for the bigger, better thing. And not getting any chance to actually connect with someone. And I feel like that's where the magic happens, as cliche and silly as that sounds, is having a person or persons that are yours, that are your life people. So I love following Tom Bilyeu on Impact Theory, and he talks about how shared life experience is invaluable because he's been with his wife for a long time. 20 years? Less? 17? I don't know. A long time. And like, that's huge. And especially if you dedicate yourself to them, if you actually really, really focus and you're deliberate. If you're deliberate about being with that person and paying attention to them and loving them, I feel like that's an insanely beautiful thing. Because I have been with my current partner for about 5 years, and that's like a good chunk of shared life experience. And we have both grown an insane amount together. And to know that he has seen me in some really bad times and just stuck with me as I've grown, and for me to have watched him grown, that sounds my grammatically brain. For me to have watched his growth has been amazing. It's bonding. It's very swell. And I just realized that like the novelty of a new person, that could be exciting, but to me it's not really worth it to just go willy-nilly do stuff. So, I mean, could you have casual sex as a Christian? Well, heck yeah. I mean, God's gonna love you regardless. But he might prefer that, you have love and connection instead. So that is what I would suggest. Again, no slut shaming. If you need to bang all the people, like, go for it. But maybe like think about it. Maybe kind of see how it makes you feel. Like really zone in after you've done that or before and be like, how does this make me feel? Does it make me feel kind of flat? It might. I don't know. You do you, but those are my thoughts. All right. Have a good one. Bye.